Good afternoon. This is a Gandalf garden update. Gandalf with the owl on his shoulders. An official garden of the owls. We've got uh, barred owls in the neighborhood. Two of them that have lived here for several years and have their babies and stuff. Well, we picked the peaches today, and I just left some of the rotten ones up there to fall for the birds. And some of them up there, like those two good ones up there, I couldn't get to today with the ladder, and I need a fruit picker. So if anybody knows a good cheap fruit picker online, they can leave a link. Assuming I need a pole with like a cup thing on it. There's the pears. We've got 100 or so pears or more on there. Those weather are pretty nice. They're pretty bug resistant. Not too many insects like to eat those, but they like the peaches. They like these fruit flies and worms like to get in these almonds and the peaches. I got some almonds, and they're not going to be any good this year because the bugs got into them. So I mean, we just kind of we grow for the sport of it, because we can only keep it sprayed so much a year before we run out of money. There's some good looking clouds. So pop-up thunderstorms happening today in the Ozarks here. And this is the plum tree. We've picked most of the plums, but as you can see, there's some falling down from the tops on the ground that we couldn't get. There's a bunch of them still up there up top. There's one right there. But yeah, I'm stepping on some of them. And that's the plum tree for jam. They got little plums on them, and this plum tree is gonna have big plums on it. Probably next year it'll produce. It didn't produce, but a couple little ones this year. See, like right there, they might grow. It might grow a little bit bigger. But that one didn't produce all well. Anyway, we got a peach tree, an almond tree, pear tree, and two plum trees. And of course, these pine trees, you can make tea with the needles if you're sick. But we got some blueberries here making. Took a couple years for these to come around and make. These blueberries here look like they're ready to pick, but I mean there's just so little of them that we're not going to get a mess with picking them. These are my persimmon trees. They're not going to make for several years. And this is a fig tree, fig bush, a fig tree. It'll produce figs towards the end of the season. There's a Japanese. See these little Japanese beetles? Get in there and smash him. Get in and eat just about everything out of the garden during the year. But I wanted to do a garden update because the okra right there is popping up. So we're going to have a good crop of okra this year like we do every year. And these are just flowers. I can't remember what Mom said they were. They don't belong in the garden, but we didn't have anywhere to put them. If you know what they are, drop a link, drop a comment. I can't remember what she said they are. I don't have a very good memory. I don't remember stuff very well. But this is squash. We always grow squash and zucchini and squash. And sorry, I was lighting my cigarette. There's cucumbers with a with the sunflower in the middle. I'll walk over there and show you that sunflower. But there's my other rows of okra. Yeah, we just had some extra garden space right here. We tilled up for the squash to vine out into. And she put those flowers up front there just for shits and giggles. But these are the pole beans. They're crawling up to the top of the poles. We ought to have a good crop of pole beans this year if we fertilize it right. Here's we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 sunflowers with a big sunflower right here. Big sunflower, and the birds and the bees like the sunflowers and the sunflower seeds. And there's some flowers growing on the squash and the zucchini already. So what I'm going to do is get a bag of pelletized, some really good fertilizer down the street. I don't know if they're open yet. I haven't checked, but down the street at the nursery, there's a nursery at the end of my road, and they have this really good specialized um, fertilizer for everything. So anyway, news update. China, India, Turkey, and Iran are all vying for power, wanting land and wanting to unite everybody. These are, we dedicated this whole garden. Now there's something sprouting up right there. I don't know what that is. That looks like squash or something in there. But anyway, these are all bush beans. We dedicated the whole garden, main garden, to bush beans this year because we're trying to let most of the soil recoup and get enzymes and biomes back into it, and with mix our compost in there at the beginning of the season, at the end of season. And oh, what is that? She's got more lettuce popping up everywhere. No, onions. Those are onions. Yeah. So we got bush beans and a line of onions. We eat a lot of onions. And there's spinach. We've got some carrots. There's some carrots growing in there. I believe that's dill. And oh, what is this? Make pie out of that. I'll think of it here in a minute. Maybe I won't. Like I said, my memory's not too good. I'm bombarded every year with just different plants and stuff, and I can't keep track of all that shit, and I just can't, even if I'm plant it all. And here's some pretty flowers that you all would enjoy. Now my water lilies are all done, and they bloomed and fell off already. My mullein plant is kicking off real well. Have some mullein to use in case I get the COVID, get a lung infection or something. That mullein is really good for lung infections, lung diseases, and everything, viruses. You can make tea out of it, or you can smoke it, or whatever. Make a poultice out of it and put it on your chest. It absorb the enzymes from the plant. But anyway, yeah, China, India. I'll leave a link to Zero Hedge's article on it. It's called World War Win, and I think I'll make the title of this video World War Win and garden update. But yeah, so some Indian and Chinese guys got into a fist fight with batons and rocks on the on the northern border of India and China and southern border of China yesterday and the night before last, and about 20 Indians died and an unknown number of Chinese died, succumbed to their wounds. Um, so I know there's bets in Las Vegas right now as to how many died on which side because they don't know how many Chinese died yet. So I bet you there's like, no, the Indian guys kicked the Chinese guy's ass, or no, the Chinese guys kicked the Indian guy's ass with kung fu, or something. But anyways, what they got into a skirmish around the occupied border region and started throwing rocks and hitting each other with batons. I imagine there's probably some blades involved, the type of blades the military carries on either side. I highly doubt that there was any sword fighting going on because the military they don't routinely carry swords anymore like they used like back in the olden days or anything like that. That's just ceremonial. They don't carry those out in the field. But after this incident, I bet you both sides might start carrying swords with them in case there's another armed incident like this one, or at least bayonets on their rifles. And I don't know why it didn't get into a shooting conflict. It didn't say anything about a shooting conflict. If there was any involved with it, I don't know if there was any shooting involved. We just don't know yet. But apparently it was strictly hand-to-hand combat with batons and rocks. So, and about 6 days ago, United States launched two carrier groups headed towards the Pacific. I didn't want to say anything about it uh, too soon, in case I've got intel on my channel, you know. But I don't want to give the heads up to anybody that we've got two carrier groups headed out towards the Pacific, because I really think something's going down, But about 6-7 days ago, we launched a carrier group headed out towards Pacific area, towards probably the South China Sea, do some patrols, secure that area. And I do believe a conflict with North Korea is almost going to be imminent. They blew up that joint liaison building yesterday, and undoubtedly Kim Jong Un has let his little sister run amok, or he's not in power anymore, and she's trying to secure power. We simply don't know. We don't have the public intel out there yet. Now, whether our intelligence knows about the whole situation, I'm not for sure. But things are getting quite intense as the year progresses, folks. Um, with the Chaz in Seattle, and they're trying to start one up in Nashville, Tennessee, and I'm sure Atlanta will probably be next to fall. Now, all this Chaz stuff is probably uh, backed by CIA or initiated by Central Intelligence. Now, they're not supposed to operate within the United States, but they are a major arm of of the deep state, just like all the ABC agencies um, are right now, have been an operative arm of the deep state for many years. And to get this power reined back in to responsible, um, compassionate, and people with the know-how to do the work properly and to help people get our government back on track like Trump wants to do. Trump has talked about getting the deep state out of there, you know, and there's a lot of reform, a lot of executive orders that have to be gone through. And I believe when he gets back into office, this coming November, December, it won't be till January though, but I believe he'll be making a bunch more executive orders to fix the situation that's just been out of control really since 9/11, since the Twin Towers went down. We've been in a state of confusion because we've been lied to by our media, by our government, you know, by our elected officials, and now the country is almost split, you know, 40, 45, 55, 40, 50, 40, 60%, you know, on either side. It kind of varies from day to day, but it seems like each side gains power, loses power every day, and and a foothold. So I'm talking about the Republicans and Democrats. And once we get out of this two-party system and start, and like a friend of mine said, Tammy said, if we all got together and held hands and did one big kumbaya across the world at once, I believe the energy levels there would be enough to stabilize the timelines and stabilize everybody's kundalini and chi and calm everybody down and fight back against the astrological influence the retrogrades and the alignments are having right now. Excuse me, are having right now on everybody. The influence of the stars and the planets is just really intense, and you can see it by people just getting upset over really something that happens every day, folks. People die under the police brutality every single day. It's nothing new. So to point to one single incident or two or three single incidences and burn cities down is just it's just unbelievable. You know, there's our this south side of the house is all flowers, but they're all done blooming. Those are our lemon trees, grapefruit trees. We're gonna have some lemon trees and grapefruit trees. We're gonna take those to the farm and probably plant them alongside the pasture somewhere. But um, this is a lime tree. A lime tree. It's got pretty big. We keep it in the garage in the wintertime so it doesn't die, but it's struggling in this weather, but it's grown quite significantly. Uh, just because of me and my mother's green thumb. My mother taught me how to garden, and she's the one that gets out here and does all the gardening uh, and planting and stuff. I do the tilling, and I keep the soil fertilized and everything, and till it up, and do a lot of the hard manual stuff like setting the poles in the ground and everything. And when it's harvesting time, I go out there and I pick the stuff and bring it in. And of course, she prepares it or stores it and whatnot. And I know how to can and stuff. I help her can stuff and watch her do it. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff I've learned from growing up on the farm all these years when I was younger, and now just being at home and having to tend to the garden and monitor things and watch how things grow and react to the weather and everything like that. So we are in sort of a dry spell. It looks like rain over that direction, over northwest of us, and maybe get a pop-up shower today, hopefully, so we don't have to water tomorrow. But looks like we're going to have to water everything tomorrow. Anyway, folks, it's just kind of a garden update, news wrap up. Uh, Not much else to talk about, that you can't find in the mainstream news. But I wish there was, other than my personal life. Yeah, it's pretty dark over that direction, northwest of us. Looks like rain in Bella Vista. Oh yeah, I'll show you guys the south side of the house. Got flowers. I want to get some salvia and put on the south side of the house. Get some salvia, libidatorium, and I can experiment on my friends with that. What friends I have left. But anyway, guys, this is Mr. Mission Control with a garden update and short news report. Peace out, motherfuckers.